What's up, YouTube? Patrick back with Team Bolshevik, doing another episode of Redefining Broken. In this, I'm going to go back to what I actually intended this series to be, talking about broken cards and discussing whether or not they truly are broken. I've also been told to be less boring, so fuck you guys. No. So in this episode, talking about Tour Guide, obviously, and the counterparts, Snoggin and Tour Bus. Unfortunately, I have to use that image of Tour Bus. There's nothing bigger. So Tour Guide, we all know what this does. This is the pot duality of the format. When it came out at Sneak Peek, it was $40, $45, and we were all fools, because every single one of us, we have no excuse. We knew what this card could do. We knew that Xyz was coming. We knew it was going to have uses. So it's really, truly our own fault if we don't have them. I blame no one but myself. Tour Guide of the Underworld, a level 3 Dark Fiend. I shouldn't have to tell you any of this. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 3 Fiend type monster from your hand or deck. Its effects are negated, and it cannot be used as a synchro material monster. 1000 attack, 600 defense. There's nothing I can say about this card. It's totally, absolutely torn Yu-Gi-Oh! Open these past few months. The possibilities are endless. I mean, before the Xyz ruling changed, people were going Tour Guide onto a Sangan, detached Sangan, Tour Guide gets Leviathan gets an attack boost, you get a Sangan search. That's busted. Now it's not really as broken. Tour Guide onto a Sangan or another Tour Guide, let the Sangan hang, get a search when it's killed, or overlay for a Leviathan or a Levier. It's being used in, I would say, every top tier deck at the moment. In my opinion, everything that tops a YCS, you can almost be sure that it's running a Tour Guide. And for budget players, it's a real problem, because that's 3 spots in a deck that need to be filled with something else, or a new playstyle if it's really heavily reliant. But back to what this card does. In itself, it's not overly busted. You're bringing out a level 3 Fiend. If Sangan didn't exist, no one would really care as much as they do, I don't think. It's used in Monster Mash to bring out Quackmira Doom. And people are using it a little bit now to bring out some Fable Tuner. I don't know why, but there is a play that happens. I haven't seen the play. Originally, when this card came out, plant decks used it a touch to bring out their Sangan and let it die, and they get a search for a lone fire quicker. And nobody really understood that play very much, because why? But now obviously Xyz exists, and it opens insane possibilities. I mean, you can face anything in this format, and you can almost guarantee that it's going to remove from play something at some point. Bring out your Levier, get it back. It's great. It facilitates your searching with the Sangan search, which is beautiful. It thins the deck. It's a dark. I mean, it's insanity. With BLS back, you splash your Tour Guide, your Sangan, Effect Failures, and I don't know, Thunder Kings into any deck, and you can run BLS. In itself, Tour Guide is not broken. The surrounding factors, our meta, the cards that are in our meta, all of that makes it disgustingly broken. I want to talk a little bit about Sangan, because people are throwing around the idea that Sangan will be banned to combat Tour Guide. That's not going to happen. This card, if this card gets banned, Tour Guide doesn't really make any difference to people. They're still going to run it. They're probably going to use that level 3 Fiend Fabled. That's not a better option. That's not a good option, even, depending on your circumstance. But that's going to happen. If Sangan gets banned, then not only is the Tour Guide deck hit, but every single deck along the way also gets hit, because almost every single deck runs Sangan. There's just no point in banning this card. It's not overly broken. It's pretty fair. It facilitates changing the game. I mean, if you have a bad hand, this card can help you. If you have a good hand, this card can make it better. Once again, it's the dark that fuels BLS, but this card is not going to see ban list action, I don't think, because it's not that broken. Once again, the surrounding factors of the meta make it good, really, really good. But even then, not broken, in my opinion. And now to talk a little bit about Tourbus. The effect was released on Christmas Eve, and I want to say I really, really love what Konami did there with their... Twas the night before tour guide, I don't know. What this card does. When this card is sent to the graveyard, target one monster in either player's graveyard except Tourbus from the Underworld. Shuffle that card into the deck. When this was announced, everyone kind of went meh, and then everyone kind of listened to the people that were going, no, this is really good. And everybody went, okay, this is balanced now. I personally think it's broken. I want to put this in Twilight so badly. Lightsworns are going to love this card. Tour Guide and Lightsworns, not so much. Tourbus, easily. The thing about this card is that when it is sent to the graveyard, which means you can mill it, you can detach it, you can do anything you want with it. As long as it ends up in the graveyard, you get the effect. It's Dandelion, basically. Another thing about this is what's going to keep plants top tier. They can do whatever they want to plants at this point. Or synchrocentric. This card being released is going to keep that deck around. For the last little while, the last month of the format, when Order of Chaos comes out and this card exists, plants are going to rape. This is insanity. But I'm not too worried about that. This card is really good and really balanced and can be put in almost anything. Once again, it's the dark to fuel a BLS if you want. You really only have to find an outlet to get it in your grave. Tour Guide obviously will special summon it, which is a good play. It's an amazing play. Lightsworns will obviously mill it. Plants will probably aim to do that as well. That's kind of where you're at. I mean, if you want to put this in a deck, mill it, search it, stop, format it. That's where you're at. I don't know what else I can say about this. I feel like it's really underrated right now, and I feel like it deserves more attention than it is getting. And I really do feel like this is broken, because it has so much more splashability than Tour Guide does. The potential for this card is far more than Tour Guide. Tour Guide is an instant rank 3. This card is a boss monster back into your deck, or cock block for your opponent. I'm not saying that this is better, but I'm saying this is pretty on the even playing fields. They're both broken. I just can't tell which is better. Tour Guide's not going to go anywhere on the ban list because Japan doesn't have it. Sangan's not going to go anywhere because that would be pointless. Tourbus is obviously not going to go anywhere because it's only just out. But with these three cards in the meta for the next format, it'll be really interesting to see what happens when the ban list changes over. That said, Japan's getting their Gold Series. They already have Wind Up Zenmains. There's no telling what they might do with that. If Tour Guide comes up in that, then that would be a real shock, but it would be really cool. And then to see what would happen to the price of Tour Guide, and then the number of copies you're allowed. I'm going to wrap it up. Tourbus, broken, definitely. Give it more attention than it's getting right now, people. It's really good. Tour Guide, we know it's broken. Sangan is not broken. It's really, really good. If it was semi-limited, by far it would be just busted, broken. Take it away. But where it's at 1, it's not going to go anywhere on the ban list. It's a balanced card. And that is all. Team Bolshevik out.